at Maidenhead. Mark, I don't know if you heard, I was just updating people with this reaction from Natalie Elphicke, the Conservative MP for Dover, saying that this agreement did not match the scale or urgency of the crisis, calling for a step change in approach, she said, with joint border patrols and a channel-wide joint security zone.
Yeah, well, she's expressing, I think, the frustration that's being felt at a local level in communities right across the country, not just in Kent, and here in Maidenhead as well. They are dealing with the consequences of this migrant crisis on a daily basis. The Holiday Inn here has been out of service for wider public use for more than 6 months now, as it's now occupied by hundreds of asylum seekers. I've just been speaking to a local resident called Barry Thomas, who came up to me just before you crossed to me there. Very mad. He's been there remonstrating with one of the security guards here. He's very angry. He's got a house just down the road here, and he says it's a blight on the community. He told me about one incident in which he says asylum seekers, migrants, are going mob-handed to the local filling station, which is just about 50 yards from where I am, 15 at a time, going in there, stealing lots of the sort of goods, sweets and crisps and things like that in the filling station, and nothing that the attendants in the filling station can do because there's so many of them. They say they're not getting an adequate response from the police. So some real concerns, not just about the fact the hotel has been taken out of use, but the fact that lots of these young men mainly are hanging about with nothing to do, and in some cases getting up to no good. I also spoke to another man, Douglas Watts, a local cab driver, who used to do lots of business with this hotel. Not anymore, he told me. Douglas, tell us, you've noticed the way it's been impacting your businesses.
It's massive impact. I have many customers coming from Scotland and Ireland. They can't use the hotel. So yeah, it's a massive. They don't come down, travel so much no more, because they have to go to a hotel in either Windsor, which is more expensive, or go to the Crown Plaza in Marlow, which is out the way.
And you've not been told how long this hotel could be out of use for the wider public?
No, we've not been told. I've asked questions to our councillors. I've asked Theresa May, and no one comes back with any questions, or answers, should I say.
And the more boats that keep coming, the greater the pressure on communities like Maidenhead. And today, hundreds more crossed. Our producer in Kent tells us at least 300 people have crossed in small boats, including one boat that made it to St Margaret's Beach between Dover and Deal. 10 people on board this boat. Our producer believes that they may have been Albanians. The 10 ran off. 3 were later apprehended by the authorities, but the other 7 have simply disappeared. No one knows as yet where they are.
Figures, Mark, on Sunday, 853 coming across on the boats on Sunday. And Suella Braverman saying that part of these measures will be a new task force to address the recent rise in Albanians and organised crime groups. I mean, this is still being identified now as a particular problem.
It is a very significant problem. There is no doubt about it. The latest figures from officials at the Home Office suggest that at least 60% of those who are crossing currently in small boats are from Albania, which is incredible when you consider that this is such a tiny Western Balkan nation, that so many people are coming from that country to the UK. And it is the belief of officials and indeed the Home Secretary that those coming from Albania have no real legitimate right to be in the UK, to claim asylum, that they are economic migrants, and actually significant numbers of them, from what we have been told by senior law enforcement officials, are coming to join the criminal trade in this country. The Albanian crime gangs controlling most of the cocaine trade in the south of the country. They've taken over most of the trade in cannabis, running the farms that the Vietnamese used to run. So it is a big problem, and this task force will try to look at how to dismantle these groups that are pushing the boats across the channel on a daily basis. We filmed in Dunkirk over the weekend, Mark, when we saw clashes that were taking place between the French police and migrants who were being frustrated from going down to the beach just near Dunkirk there. And that, we're told, will be something that the authorities will have to contend with more regularly. There will be some more police officers on these beaches trying, we're told, their level best to stop these boats getting into the water in the first place.